want to encourage you that you must obey those who are in authority. In the book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 1, the Bible says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. NIV just says, everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities. In 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 18, the Bible says, submit yourselves for the sake of the Lord to every authority instituted among men. Zambia has an authority that has been instituted. And in a time such as this, when the authority gives instruction to you, I call upon every believer in the nation of Zambia, I call upon every child of God that fears God, that you must respect the instruction that have been given to all the nationals of this country by the authority that God has put in place. In the book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 17, the Bible says, obey your leaders and submit to them, for they watch over your souls as men who must give an account. Submit to those who are in authority. Obedience of leadership is from God to every child of God. To disobey the leadership that God has put in place is to come into conflict with God. There is a blessing in being obedient to the leadership. When leaders advise that we stay home, it is disobedience for anyone to be all over the place the whole day. We must adhere to the instructions that have been given by the leadership. God honors obedience. In Isaiah chapter 1 verse 19, the Bible says, if you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. You can only eat the good of the land if you have anchored your life on obedience. Obedience becomes your culture. When leaders advise to avoid crowded meetings and places, it is obedience to do exactly that. When leaders say, do not shake hands for now, it is obedience to stay away from shaking hands. Receive it as an ordinance, and when you do it, in it shall be a blessing from the Lord. When leaders advise that we constantly wash our hands with soap and sanitize our hands often, it is right before God for every one of us to obey. Remember that to obey is better than sacrifice. Disobedience can lead to self-destruction. In the book of Hosea chapter 13 verse 9, the Bible says, O Israel, you have destroyed yourselves, but in me is your help. I pray for you that you shall not destroy yourself by reason of disobedience. I call upon every child of God. We do not need the army to beat people. We do not need the police to stand in order for us to do what is right. If Zambia be a Christian nation, when the leaders give instruction to the nation, we believe that every child of God will be obedient, so that this land of Zambia may receive the intervention of the hand of the Lord. If we shall obey the authority, there is a blessing, and the borders of this nation shall be protected. The hand of the Lord shall make it clear that Zambia is a different nation in the world, if we shall obey what the Lord is saying and the instructions that have been given to all of us by the authority.